Gloved by Frazier on the relay, so they'll get the out. The runner advances. That'll be
lineup. So, and there are multiple other examples of this in the lineup and in the roster where there are going to be some kinks, some holes that you need to patch up, some things you need to work on if you're players, and that's just the process for summer ball, getting better and continuing to improve as the season goes on.
First pitch from Austin Elke will be lifted towards the right side. Trying to camp underneath it is Ben Melendrez as he runs out of sight. Couldn't make the play on that one as he went careening into the Zap dugout there. Leading off again, Mason Melton, the right-hander. And, a lot of these guys are first looks at them. Getting some new faces, new names around both of these organizations. Austin Elke, the Squatch starting pitcher. This is his first day with the squad. Elke will come set, right-handed thrower with the 0-1 count. Paints the outside corner, and now Mason Melton behind 0-2. Hawaii in their military camouflage unis today. As the 0-2 to Melton inside, ball one, tried to wear it. And if you're trying to tune into the Oahe Zap YouTube and you can't get the audio, jump over to the River 92.7 app on our DRG News app. You can hear us loud and clear as this one misses outside for ball 2. And Nick, Mason Melton doing a good job staying patient here in this at-bat.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him in the first hole. I think it's probably his first time up. And then you got Gavin on deck, normally in the 9 hole.
2-2 outside, so from 0-2 to a full count. Mason Melton, like Nick just said, kind of new into this one spot here. And it does sound like our audio is up and running on the Oahe Zap YouTube, also streaming on drgnews.com. Here's the payoff pitch from Elke to Melton. And this one's lifted down the right field line, curling foul. So Melton just putting a bat on it, trying to stay alive. And I think that's another very important thing for this Oahe Zap Ball Club today. Just get runners on and let the rest take care of itself. We'll do the 3-2 again. Elke comes set at the chest. And the pitch. Rifled foul back into the netting. That one was headed our direction. One thing that you guys haven't been experienced yet is a foul ball coming up to the broadcast booth. Normally we keep this window open. I made one catch on a foul ball last year. And in a season in which the Zap went to the championship series, that was one of the highlights. And our great Nick Bennett's got his glove ready. Here's the 3-2 again. That one fouled off at the fists. And for the third straight pitch, we'll do the 3-2 all over again. Melton doing a nice job staying alive. Melton adjusts the batting gloves and steps in. Nobody on, nobody out. 3-2 pitch from Elke. Took something off its swing and a miss for Melton, and that's strike number 3. And Elke doing a nice job there, setting him up with fastballs, then pulling the string on an off-speed pitch to get the swing and the miss.
Sure, it's not something you like to see from your 1 hole, but he did get the starting pitcher to pitch some, go from 0-2 to 3-2 and then foul off a couple more.
And that'll bring up Gavin Frazier, another one of these returning guys who was a part of that dream run to the championship series last year. He'll step into the right-handed batter's box, and he'll take an off-speed pitch for strike 1 on the inside corner. And, talking to Phil Demas, the manager for the Squatch, as Elke delivers the 0-1 outside for ball 2. He was kind of new to what Elke was going to be throwing. He didn't have a great idea of what was going to be in his arsenal. There's the 1-1 from Elke. Up high and away, ball 2.
Well, and you look at Elke's college career, he's only pitched 6 appearances. He only started 1 game and pitched 7 innings. So he has a very little sample size to go off of at Doane College.
Here's the 2-1. And that misses low 3-1. And a good point there, Brandon. Elke coming from Doane College. His team went to the World Series, but he did get some innings. And he's a younger guy, so it says a lot about his arm. Here's the 3-1. Looked like Gavin Frazier was trying to hit one out to the Boys and Girls Club out there in left center field. Big swing and a miss, and the count runs full.
This guy's not at 100% yet, but he is probably one of the best players on this team playing recently.
Wind blowing from left field to right center. Gavin Frazier 3-2, and he splits that one down the right field line. Gotta tell you, out and right, Sam Kwapnowski's been busy getting to some of those foul balls. We talked to Gavin Frazier down in the dugout before today's game, and he did say he might be trying to go a little bit of Oppo Taco out there. Outfield certainly shifting him that way. A lot of room down the left field line if he wants to exploit it. Here's the payoff. Again, fouled back into the fencing behind home plate. And Nick, like you mentioned, if anything, they're certainly trying to run the pitch count up of Austin Elke and get into this Sasquatch bullpen that is running a little bit thin here early in the year. 1-0 Sasquatch lead here in the bottom of the first. Elke comes set, another payoff pitch. This one off the fist to the left side, going to be a tough play for Dom Torres. He gloves, he fires, and in time, Dom Torres coming on, making a spectacular play to get the second out of the inning. And doing well with a fast runner over there in Gavin Frazier. That was a spiffy play off a pretty much a swinging bunt, if you will, for Torres to come up and make that quick throw to first.
Yeah, that grounder, as you said, he had to come up and field it. He couldn't just stand pat and let the ball come to him. He had to go and make the throw off balance, and that's where he really excels. And you can see that so far this season.
So that'll bring up Ty Farwell in the 3-hole. Tall Ty takes ball 1 high. And it's good to see Ty Farwell with that patented hip shake. Now, we talked so much about last year, off-speed pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. And for those of you on YouTube asking if Nick can move that camera just a little bit to catch the first base bag, we'll get on that. And 1-1 misses high for ball 2. And for those of you that don't know, that maybe didn't watch a lot of Zap baseball last year, Ty Farwell has a very, very patented move where he kind of drives the hips forward twice before he steps into the box, as this one's ripped down the left field line, curling foul out on the Capitol Avenue. But Ty Farwell, a huge piece of that championship running team last year. Sasquatch, obviously, the favorites coming into this season to make another run, even with some movement at the top. These guys are as talented as they come. Phil Demas has done a great job of recruiting talent. There's the 2-2 to Farwell, fouled off. And we'll do it again. Farwell, the left-hander, catching this afternoon for the Zap, catching Noah Aliff, one of his new buddies, and Nick got to talk to Ty. We'll catch that interview a little bit later on in the ball game. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's dropped, but Farwell is tagged, and that'll bring us to the end of the first inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Squatch lead 1-0. We head to the top of the second after this. All right. over there about Ollie. There's the 1-1. This one off the other way. This will score a run. Frazier up and firing to Ludvigsen at first. So some good placement hitting there by Benjamin Fuhrer. It'll be a sacrifice. And will score, making it 2-0. It's the second out. And sometimes you don't always need the hit to score the run. They're playing small ball, are the Sasquatch, and obviously it's been working here in the early going of this season for them.
Well, and you look at the last time the A-Lift was starting, which was last weekend, the second game against the Spuds. He got into trouble in the fourth, which was why he was taken out of that ball game, only played 3 1/3 inning, was because he got runners on second and third.
And now Bo Iandoli will wear the first pitch right underneath his number 1 on the back of the jersey. So Noah Aliff will again put runners on the corners. And certainly didn't mean to hit him, I don't think, but that's one way to trade off there. Bo Iandoli, obviously, with that leadoff triple in the first inning. Now he stands at first after wearing that hit by pitch. 2 outs, runners on the corners here, and another hit batsman will load the bases. Couldn't even introduce Dominic Torres. 2 pitches, 2 batters hit for Noah Aliff. And that'll bring out Jamie Habiger to have a chat with his starting pitcher. And again here, gentlemen, I think you're obviously understanding that when you're playing the Spearfish Sasquatch, you're going to have to score runs if you want a chance to win this ball game. And these are situations against a hot-hitting team like the Sasquatch that you'll find yourselves in. It's about limiting the damage and not letting this inning turn into an avalanche.
Well, and the Sasquatch have been taking advantage of opportunities from the Zap in their 3-game series, but even going back to the first opening series, you had in the final game, the Zap were up big on the Casper Spuds, 9-4. And it was the top of the 8th. You were going in feeling really great, and then sooner or later, you had the 5-run lead completely erased down to 1 because of wild pitches, errors, and you barely escaped that ball game.
Here's Sam Kwapnoski, another dangerous hitter for the Squatch, taking ball 1 down in the dirt. And you were not fine with hitting Iandoli. You never fine hitting a batter, but you had a force out at second if you wanted. Not to say that Iandoli wasn't going to take second anyway, but now you've got to throw strikes if you're Aliff, and you got to do it to a good hitter like Kwapnoski. Pulls the string there, off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. Don't want to let this inning turn into a festive, fun afternoon here for the Squatch. Trying to limit the damage here. They're leading 2-0. And Kwapnoski rifles this one to Ludvigsen underneath the diving glove of the Zap first baseman. One will score. Second runner coming in. He'll score standing, and it's 4-0 Sasquatch off an RBI double for Sam Kwapnoski. Pulled it down the first base side. Ludvigsen diving off to his right. Couldn't get the leather on it. Ethan Pitcher came up firing. Couldn't get it in time to knock down that second run. So a 3-run inning makes it 4-0 Squatch. And they've still got some trouble here due to Zap. As Spearfish threatening with runners on second and third. And Benjamin Melendrez coming up to the plate. Big right-handed hitter. Aliff set at the chest, and the first pitch fouled down the right field line. That'll curl out into the parking lot.
I mean, this is nothing new between these two teams. On game 1 against them at Spearfish, the Sasquatch scored 10 in a single inning. This is nothing new. It's just stopping them that the Zap need to figure out. Don't make mistakes. Don't need to hit anybody. Don't have any wild pitches. Something the Zap have struggled with early on.
So Aliff will come set. He's ahead in this count, 0-1. Pitch count starting to run up for Aliff as this one just barely missing high. And that'll even up the count at 1 apiece. Those we talk to Jamie Habiger, we'll hear from him after the Zap get this third and final out. Top Top of the second, 4-0 Sasquatch leading on the road. Here's the 1-1. Floated softly to the right side. Frazier trying to track it down, and he boots it. And it will end up being all hands are safe. 1 run will score as Dominic Torres comes across for the Sasquatch. And hard to score that one in error. That one kind of came off the fists of Melendrez. Frazier was able to get over to it in time, just couldn't club it cleanly. And that'll make it 5-0 Spearfish. Even more trouble coming here for Aliff as he's got to face maybe the hottest bat in this ballpark, Drew Muller. Told you earlier, went 3 for 4 in last night's win for the Sasquatch, including 2 home runs, one of which being a grand slam. 7 runs batted in for Muller, and he's ahead 1-0, and he puts a charge into this one down the left field line, but that'll turn foul. Evened up at 1 apiece. And that one just barely grazing the pant leg of Drew Muller. And that'll be the 3rd hit batsman of the inning for Noah Aliff. So bases are loaded again for the Sasquatch, and now coming in is Cy Taylor to calm down his starting pitcher. I'll give the scouting report here on Carter Towns, the left-handed hitter and left fielder for Spearfish. Ty Farwell directing traffic out there, letting everybody know where he wants to go. 2 out hitting, coming up big here for the Squatch. 5-0 lead here in the top of the second. Zap putting themselves behind the 8 ball here early. Aliff comes set. First pitch is powered foul back behind him. Into the netting. And if anything, Noah Aliff able to get ahead. One is the count. Aliff comes set, takes a look over at third. And everybody's situated normally here for the Zap infield. This one will miss outside. Keeping up the count. Aliff with a long look in. And the 1-1. And he hit him. 4th hit batsman of this inning, and Noah Aliff is going to walk in a run by a hit batsman. And that's just part of those mistakes, those little errors that are being made by this Zap ball club that continue to shoot themselves in the foot. 6 hits, 6 runs, but not a lot of them earned.
Well, and you've seen in the last game, 17-7, they were up 5-0. They also had 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. And they let up 5 straight runs by the Sasquatch. A similar situation here.
Still plenty of baseball left to be played, but Aliff trying to get out of this jam here. That'll be in there for strike 1. As Malachi Lopez digs into the right-handed batter's box. Twirling the bat. Got the baby blue batting gloves on today to match these teal blue tops for the Squatch. 0-1, misses up and in for ball 1. If you're just joining us, Military Appreciation Night tonight. We got the National Guard with all their good-looking equipment set up beyond the right field wall. And they're here in droves today. A lot of camouflage in the stands, a lot of camouflage out in the field as the Zap trying to get out of this inning. This one will be rifled into right field. That'll get down for a base hit, going to score at least 2. Sasquatch are pouring it on here in the top of the second inning as Noah Aliff just cannot get off the mound. Another hit as Malachi Lopez drives in 2 more. It's 8-0 Sasquatch.
In that last game of the series against the Sasquatch in Spearfish, you had 7 different pitchers, including the shortstop, the current shortstop, Cy Taylor, even pitching the last few pitches of that ball game before I got run ruled. Another situation you might come up with here.
Aleph will curl one in there for strike one. He's been getting ahead some of these hitters. It's just been the issue of putting them away. So 0-1 count here for Aleph. He delivers this one rifled through the left side. That's going to be another Sasquatch base hit. They're going to try to take third. Throw coming in. Gets away from third baseman Mason Melton. And another run's going to score. On to third. They go, and coming home to score there was Malachi Lopez. Kendrick Aragon with a base hit that turns into a free trip to third due to some errant throws by the Oahe Zap out in the field. It's already 10-0 here in the top of the second.
Yeah, they're just trying to get this last out, and Aleph can't get it done.
10 runs on 8 hits. I don't even want to know what the Zap error count is at right now. As Aleph comes set, this one fisted to the right side, past a diving Gavin Frazier. Aragon will score, and another base hit for Benjamin Fuhrer. And the bullpen has been up and active for the Oahe Zap, as looks like somebody's going to come out and talk to Noah Aleph, and that'll be it for Aleph on this Saturday evening. 9 hits, 11 runs given up by Noah Aleph, as he will only make it 1 2/3 innings. And again, as these newer guys get familiarized with the Oahe Zap organization, the city of Pierre, a little bit tough to kind of get yourself situated and settled in if you're one of these newer arms and newer faces like Noah Aleph had to face today.
Well, even Gavin Frazier and Quinn Ludvigsen, they've been struggling today, which has been a surprise because of how well they've been playing, not only in the batter's box, but also in the infield. And they've missed some routine plays, some hard plays though, but they've gotten slow starts onto grounders. They haven't been able to field them. Mason Melton even has missed some uncharacteristically. Blake Imhoff has only been the real force in the outfield that has been able to come over, make a few plays, catch some, but even then, it's 11-0. There's very few bright spots so far for this Zap team so far.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's easy to say Noah Aleph maybe didn't have his best stuff today, coming out getting the start against a powerhouse lineup like Spearfish, but also his defense not making the plays that they need to behind him.
Right, and you have in the previous games, it's been the same story. You've had Landon Meyer, who's not in the lineup today, missing grounders. You've had Mason Melton missing dives. You've had Cy Taylor even missing some throws from short. Even the catcher, Briggs Richard, a few days ago, would miss some one-hoppers to the second baseman to try to pick off a few runners. Today, you had the same situation with Ty Farwell. It's a learning process, but it's definitely a sharp learning curve, and many of these mistakes are very inexcusable, especially when you've already gone through 6 games.
So that'll bring out a new pitcher for the Oahe Zap. It'll be another notable name. And Brady Glenn, the left-handed hurler, getting his warm-up pitches going. A lot of folks know Brady Glenn from last year out of Simpson University. He's from Willows, California. 5'10", 195-pound, fifth-year senior. Will toe the rubber, and the first batter he'll face for his afternoon will be the top of the lineup for the Squatch in Bo Iandoli. And Iandoli got this game started with a triple, and the Squatch have batted around here in the top of the second. First pitch from Glenn is in there for strike one. Catches the outside corner.
An interesting spot for Glenn. Normally he's starting these games and coming in as a reliever, especially with a 11-0 deficit. You're just trying to get this out, get your bats hopefully going with something in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, you gotta feel like if you're Brady Glenn, you gotta come in and treat this like a start. You have to make up a lot of ground here as this one's popped a mile high on the infield. Quinn Ludvigsen will camp under it, and at long last, the top of the second comes to an end, but not before a 10 spot by the Squatch They lead 11-0. We'll keep it right here. As we told you, we got to talk to manager of the Oahe Zap, Jamie Habiger. Here's what he had to say about Military Appreciation Night and what he hopes to see out of his squad. Is that muted? Habiger, and after that chat with us, he had a chat with his infield and outfield. Well, the whole team he pulled together coming off the field after that 10-run inning by the Squatch. But love Jamie, great to have him back here in Pierre as the bottom half of the second inning underway with Garen Gledhill. He'll take ball one low. Was there anything that Jamie said that kind of stuck out to you there? And what do you imagine he was saying to that group of Zap players as he pulled them off the field? Cap that off as this one catches the outside corner for strike one at Gledhill.
I mean, you can't really be angry at the team because, I mean, sure, it's happened before in the past series against the Sasquatch in Spearfish, but you want to just calm down your players.
We'll see if he can do that as this one misses just a bit outside. Lively fastball here for Austin Elke today. It was funny talking to Phil Demas, the Sasquatch manager. He was kind of as curious as I was of what the arsenal was going to look like from Elke. He's got quite the fastball and just wanted him to put it around the zone, and he's done that. Here's a rifling shot up the middle for Garen Gledhill. Gledhill dealt with a lot of injury last year for the Oahe Zap, spent most of the season on the bench, but good to see him back at 100% as he picks up the first hit of the day for the Zap. He'll stand at first. Nobody out, runner on first, and that'll bring up the Zap shortstop, Cy Taylor. Good piece of hitting there from Gledhill.
Gledhill struggled a little bit this year. He got off to a good start in the first game, but in that last game of the series against the Casper Spuds, he had a little bit of a dud. 3 at-bats. He struck out once, but it's good to see him get back and fully healthy and rifle run right into center field, and that's a great starting point for this Zap batting squad.
Good start here for Cy Taylor as he takes ball one outside. Elke working quickly. This one fouled back into the netting to even up the count at 1 apiece. Shock is in the building today, and you guys, you drew the good stick out of the bunch getting up here in the AC. Shock the Zap walks around in those hot temps, and well, we've got our first hit batsman. Well, the Oahe Zap. Cy Taylor will wear that one on the left arm, and he'll happily take first. So, something cooking here for the Zap in the bottom half of the second inning. They need some runs. They need them badly. And now Quinn Ludvigsen will come up with runners on first and second, nobody out. Now Quinn can put a charge into one. No better time for a long ball than right now for the Zap first baseman. Big lefty's got the wind working with him if he can get on one. First pitch down and in, ball one.
It's also great to see that you're not just getting a 1-2-3 out of your batting order, because that gives your pitchers no time to settle down, especially with an 11-0 deficit. No time to settle down, recollect, say, hey, what do we need to do better? Where do we need to frame the pitches, etc.
As this one is driven down the left field line, Carter Towns coming on. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. All hands are safe, and Quinn Ludvigsen coming up with a little bloop hit. We'll take it. Carter Towns was full steam ahead, but maybe that wind knocking down a high fly ball into shallow left field. And Carter Towns, as speedy as he is, was shading over towards the center field part of the ballpark. And that gave Quinn Ludvigsen just enough room to drop it in. And now the Zap have the bases loaded, and Ethan Pitcher coming to the plate.
Yeah, it's interesting with coach's decision to keep Ethan in. He's been struggling lately, has yet to get a hit. His batting average is still at a 0. And he's got a good spot here to change that.
And he is due, and this will be a great spot to pick up his first hit of the season, as this one misses high and away for ball one.
And it's something the Zap have struggled with lately, scoring runs when you have runners in scoring position and no outs.
Pitcher eyes, and that one gets away from Kendrick Aragon, and the Zap are on the board. A wild pitch will score Garen Gledhill. Everybody moves up one base. And you won't be able to get them all back at once, and this is what the Zap need to do. Play a little small ball, see if the Sasquatch can make some mistakes. And now Austin Elke will have his first mound visit of the afternoon, but tell you what, if you're the Oahe Zap, just trying to pick up runs where you can, you feel like you got a good arm in Brady Glenn out there in relief for Noah Aliff. You can kind of keep things right where they are. We may have brought out the announcer's jinx in terms of letting a couple mistakes turn into a big inning there. But if you're the Oahe Zap, this is what you need. You need runners on and runners coming across the plate, and that's what they got there. After a wild pitch from Austin Elke. And now if you're Ethan Pitcher, you can pick up a base hit. Should certainly score two with some speed out on the bases.
Now if you're Ethan, Justin, are you going to lay down the sacrifice bunt here possibly?
I'm doing whatever my coach tells me to do there, Nick. If I look down and Jamie's giving me the bunt signal, I'm going to try to. And now this one gets away. I'm going to try to do whatever Jamie wants me to do. However, I will say this. If you're struggling at the plate, sometimes a bunt's exactly what you need. We won't see it here on a 3-0 count. I think it was pitcher trying to sell it to Tom Day that he might have caught a little bit of that pant leg. Day wasn't having him. 3-0 count, runners on second and third. Pitcher will take ball 4, and they're loaded again. Walks as good as a hit. Especially when you're Ethan Pitcher just trying to get settled in. It will come, and this will bring up Blake Imhoff. And we'll see if Imhoff can come up with a big hit here for the Zap.
The Sasquatch haven't been invulnerable this year in the pitching department. They've had mistakes. They've had games where last night they gave up 9 in a win, though. And then they've given up 5 to the Zap, and they've given up 7. So it's a process, and it's a good thing to take advantage of from the Zap.
Good placement right there from Austin Elke as he gets strike one call in the inside corner. Elke does one thing, he works quickly. Comes set and delivers. Imhoff will take outside for ball 1.
Keeping this prime scenario open for us to get back into this game.
Imhoff set up towards the back half of that left-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-1. This one rifled foul out to Capitol Avenue, just barely missing a passing car. And you guys are more well-versed on what's going here at Hyde Stadium this summer. You still getting free slushies for foul balls? Do we know that?
If a player turns in a foul ball, if a little kid does, they get actually $1 bill.
$1 bill, all right. This one misses high and away. Count even at 2-2. Bases are juiced here for the Zap, trailing 11-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. Nobody out. As Blake Imhoff patiently battling this at bat with Elke. The 2-2 pitch. Down and in. Ball 3. He's worked the count full. You could see Imhoff wanting to offer there, but just holding up the bat on the off-speed pitch. Good take. Wind howling from that left field corner in across the diamond and back out into the right field corner. Here's the payoff pitch. Up the middle, this could be 2. Gloved by Fuhrer. He'll fake the toss, throw to first, and the double play is complete. And if you're the Spearfish Sasquatch, you will happily trade a double play for the run there. Zap will score their second run of the ball game to make it 11-2. But Ben Fuhrer had Imhoff played and shaded up the middle there, and it played out to perfection. That'll go down in the scorebook as a 6-3 double play. We'll give Crew Muller his flowers. He was there covering, but Ben Fuhrer said, I'm going to take this one myself. Couple nice leather plays made here in the early going by the Sasquatch infield. So now there's 2 outs, and that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Dominic DiCarlo. He takes ball 1 high.
He initially started in the 1-hole in the first 3 games, but has struggled as of late.
He'll take a strike there on a curling and breaking ball. Well, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And I can guarantee you a lot of these guys, as this season rolls on, will get more comfortable. Big swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. I'm going to pitch up in the zone. DiCarlo looking back at home plate umpire Tom Day, saying, if I didn't swing, would it have been a strike? He got the nod, yes. So now it's protection time. Would love to score this runner. That's 90 feet away, as this one's outside. Good play there made by Aragon to keep Quinn Ludvig's in a bay down there at third. And I know it's just the second inning, but that runner on third feels like an important one here for the Oahe Zap. Here's the pitch. This one lifted towards center. Iandoli underneath it. He's camped. He's got it, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So the Zap do strike back. They score 2. They leave 1 runner on, and we head to the top of the 3rd inning. And as we take a look at the schedule coming up here, a lot of theme nights like we have here this evening. Of course, it's Military Appreciation Night, and I'll let my 2-color commentators take it away as to what's upcoming in June for Oahe Zap theme nights, and some good nights coming up here in the next couple weeks, don't we, boys?
Sure. So tomorrow, obviously, we're playing the Sasquatch again, so on par with the Sasquatch, we're hunting the Sasquatches. Tomorrow night is Hunting Sasquatch. June 1st, that's the final game of this 3-game homestand. That's Marvel versus DC Superhero Night. First Responders Night is the next series after that. Then you have Dress Your Decade and Family Day Bark at the Park. Invited to bring your pets. Nick, you want to take it away for June 10th through the 11th?
Yeah, sure. June 10th, we got Women's Wednesday, and then we got our famous Wildcats Night, and we'll have a live band playing till midnight, so it'll be a long day of baseball. And then we got Cowboy Rodeo Night on the 20th. 21st, we'll have a little bit of a corn place for some kids to play in, mostly where the bouncy house is normally.
Wildcat Night's a big one. That's, for those of you that don't know, our Special Olympics team here in the state capital, the Pier Wildcats. I know you guys are big Zap fans, but you haven't met a Zap fan until you've met a Pier Wildcat. They absolutely love this baseball team. A couple of Wildcats here in attendance tonight, including our buddy John, who has, I don't think, missed a Zap game yet. Back to the action here as Brady Glenn toes the rubber. Top of the 3rd, this one grounded sharply to the left side, gloved by Mason Melton, firing to first. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's more like it for Brady Glenn. And that's the ideal efficiency you look for out of a reliever kind of turned starter here for Glenn in the top half of the third.
We were talking just earlier about how Coach Haberger would have his team respond, what he said to them in that meeting. I think one of those things is just focus on your individual job. Mason Melton, just go get a jump on the ball, anticipate where it is, glove it, and then just make a simple throw to first. Nothing easier than playing pitch and catch.
So I'll bring up Sam Kwapnoski. And this one will not result in a one-pitch, one-out. That'll miss outside for ball one.
And one thing Jamie mentioned in post-game of Game 2, he mentioned to his team, be hype in the dugout. Hype up your teammates. Do not be quiet. Do not be sitting on the bench.
As this one's grounded towards the right side. Played on a second bounce by Frazier. He bobbles and fires, and Kwapnoski will leg it out. So some more glove work issues on the infield for the Zap. Pretty routine play. Took a not-so-routine hop for Gavin Frazier. And on that second bounce, just kind of handcuffed him. He wasn't able to field it cleanly. And that'll go down as an error. And put Kwapnoski on first. And those are the little things you've got to avoid if you're the Zap. Now gives an opportunity for a possible double play. Now look on the bright side as Brady Glenn takes the outside corner for a first pitch strike to Benjamin Melendrez. Tell you what, a pitcher's best friend after an error is a ground ball just like this. This will hop softly to Brady Glenn. He fields an underhand toss over to Ludvigsen. Will get the second out of the inning. Brady Glenn looking awfully comfortable out there in his relief outing here this afternoon. Again, it was Noah Aliff who went 1 2/3, got pulled. And Brady Glenn coming in relief has only thrown about 4 pitches here in this third inning, and he's gotten 2 outs. And like we said, that is model efficiency. Runner on second here, as this one is softly fouled back behind. Crew Muller. C and D close to each other in the alphabet. You often get those mixed up. Especially when you're not a scholar like I am. Like these two sitting next to me.
Don't see many CDs.
No, you sure don't. You don't
anymore.
see many Crews either. I like that name. Crew Muller. Here's the 0-1 to Muller. That one swung on and missed. Brady Glenn pulling the string on the off speed. Now ahead 0-2, and this is where you got to get out. If you're the Oahe Zap offensively, found a little bit of momentum there in the second. Got 2 hits, plated 2. Now just keep this deficit where it's at and try to keep chipping away. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just misses a bit high. Man, that one looked good from up here. It must not have looked that good to Tom Day down there.
Well, that reminds me of Sunday's game where the umpire's strike zone, especially in the latter half of the game, started getting quite smaller in the top half of the strike zone.
As Glenn with the 0-2 pitch, this one sent softly out to right. Ethan pitcher under it, and he's got it for the third out. So this is the first inning without damage. Brady Glenn does give up the 1 error, but he gets out of the jam. No hits, no runs, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Zap coming up after this. Might have to keep up the Right here, and I'll tell you what, it was a little bit overcast and rainy this morning, but it has turned into an absolutely gorgeous day here in the state capitol. Hello, everybody. Justin Coward alongside Brandon Whaley and Nick Bennett. And if you haven't yet, get out to Dunes and play some golf. It is, like we said there, beautifully nested along the Missouri River. You won't find a more fun place to play in the state of South Dakota than out at Dunes Golf. GolfDunes.com. They'll get your round of golf in here today. 11-2, Sasquatch leading after a devastating second inning. It was not all on Noah Aliff. His defense behind him couldn't really pick him up, but Brady Glenn came in. And when you talk to Noah Aliff, you know that guy who is incredibly tough on himself, just a true competitor, will certainly go back to the drawing board, come back stronger than ever. Here's a first pitch base hit ripped past the third baseman. And the top of the lineup getting it done, Mason Melton coming up with a big base hit right past the outstretched arm of Don Torres. And that's a good way to start this bottom half of the third. Like we said, boys, you can't get it all back at once. You've just got to get runners on base and keep moving them around.
Yeah, you can't be just like the Sasquatch where they score all at once. You got to chip away at it. And with Glenn on the mound, he could definitely shut him down.
Big swing and a foul back by Gavin Frazier. Frazier, a guy who struggled with some errors early on in the season last year. Seeing a little bit of the same here this year. But again, a lot of these guys just, you play a lot of baseball, you go into some ruts, but Gavin Frazier pulled himself out of that rut nicely last year as this one's blocked well behind the plate by Aragon to keep Melton over there at first base. And, you know, like we said with Noah Aliff, nobody tougher on himself than himself, really. Same kind of thing with Gavin Frazier. He's going to try to make up for some of those mistakes on the infield. Got a great bat. We'll see if he can come up with a big hit here. That one bounces in front of the plate for ball 2. And I know you guys didn't get to see it last year, but Gavin Frazier, like I said, had an incredibly strong second half of the year, was a very integral part of getting that team into the postseason, into the championship series. And he's playing an important role this season. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 2. Might have gotten a piece of it, but it was gloved by Aragon. And he's playing an important role. One of these returning guys got to be kind of that leader to help settle in the newer faces into this organization. The 2-2 is sent towards center, and that is going to get down for a base hit past a diving Bo Iandoli. Coming around third is Mason Melton, and he is going to score standing up. Gavin Frazier, right on cue, comes up with a huge double, and the Zap bring another in. It's 11-3.
And that's what we were talking about. And Elke, he's struggled a little bit, especially in that last half inning. When you got runners in scoring position, he started cracking a little bit. He started throwing pitches down in the dirt. His catcher, Aragon, was able to bail him out a little bit. Still had a wild pitch that scored a runner, and now you're seeing Elke tire a little bit. He's letting pitches up and over the plate, and that's where Gavin Frazier was able to capitalize on that huge double that was able to fall.
And a great effort play made by Iandoli as he tried to track that one down in left center. Just couldn't get to it. Went full Superman out there, but as beautiful as the effort was, the Gavin Frazier 2-strike approach was maybe even prettier. So Frazier on second, Ty Farwell in the box, and that is another nice block by Aragon behind the plate. As you mentioned there, Brandon, Austin Elke's starting to miss his spots a little bit. It's one thing that Phil Demas, manager for the Squatch, said. He just wanted Elke to find spots around the zone as Farwell cracks that one foul into Aragon. And, well, Tom Day, a seasoned umpire, is going to take a slow walk out to give Austin Elke the new baseball. And that one hit Aragon in, let's just say, a not very desirable place. Desirable place, I should say, back there behind home plate. Tom Day going to understandably give Aragon all the time he needs to get situated.
Did you play any ball growing up, Justin?
I sure did. played a little shortstop, a little second, spent some time behind home plate, and then I took one off the face mask that scared my mother to death. She never let me put the catcher's gear on again. Farwell going to send this one to the left side. It'll be fielded by Fuhrer, firing to first, and in time to retire Farwell. Farwell will, however, move Gavin Frazier over to third, and that'll give Garen Gledhill another opportunity to drive in another Zap run. 11-3 ball game right now. Zap scored 2 in the second, 1 here in the third off the Gavin Frazier RBI double. And now Gledhill with 1 out. And the fourth run 90 feet away. He needed to come up with another base hit. This one misses high from Elke, ball 1.
Did you think that you could go back to catching, or was...
Well, you gotta make your mom happy. Anything that mom wants, she gets, right? As this one swung on and missed for strike 1. I gotta say, though, I'm glad she put the nix on that. I didn't really like squatting down all that much. For those of you that don't know me, I'm not the smallest and fittest guy. I do all right, but squatting down for that long was tough on the legs. This one misses low for ball 2.
I enjoyed it when I played catcher. The only time I never liked it was when it was hot, 100 degrees, and your pitcher can't locate.
This one's lifted foul down the left side, out of play. And we'll get some of those this summer. Triple-digit days. They have, and we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule here in our next break for June. They have moved some start times around, as this one's lifted high into center. Iandoli going to camp underneath it. A productive out here for Garen Gledhill, as Gavin Frazier will tag from third and score. And Gledhill with another big piece of hitting, though that one won't register as a hit in the books. The sacrifice fly will be the fourth run of the ball game for the Oahe Zap. And Garen Gledhill again coming up big, makes it 11-4. Zap still trailing but chipping away.
Well, that's a great thing. The hit was enough so that he could get a lot of air under it and depth under it, but it wasn't shallow enough so that the runner couldn't move to home and score there.
Yeah, especially with the speed of Gavin Frazier over on third. Didn't need to get it that deep into the outfield for him to score. As Cy Taylor will take ball 1 and now ball 2 on the outside corner. Nobody on, 2 outs. 2-0 count to the Zap shortstop, Cy Taylor. Big swing and a miss for strike 1.
Definitely one of the best, if not the best defender in the middle infield, for the Zap.
Cy Taylor?
Yeah.
There's the 2-1 to him. That one misses low. Aragon might have wore that one on the right hand. That did not look comfortable. And Aragon is going to earn himself a cold Zap shandy after the ball game. Something new they're offering here at the ballpark. As Carla Miles has taken over the concession stand. This one will miss high. And that'll be a walk. So a little 2-out magic maybe here for the Zap as Cy Taylor takes his base. And now Quinn Ludvigsen, a power-hitting left-hander, comes in. And the Sasquatch made a lot of hay with 2 outs in that second inning. We'll see if the Zap can maybe do the same here in the third. They've already brought 2 across. And well, I don't think Jamie Habiger will be too upset with a couple more. Ludvigsen is set, and the first pitch from Austin Elke is in there for a strike. I believe Ludvigsen had some fun against the Squatch last year. Hit one off the Bank West scoreboard out in right field. Ludvigsen will take strike 2 on the outside corner. Ludvigsen not too pleased with that call, but it looked like Elke painted that corner perfectly. Oh, 2 count. Ludvigsen with 2 outs and a runner on first here has to defend. Runner goes high and away. Pitch out was on. The throw is in time. And J.D. Pullman, our field umpire, will say that he is safe. Cy Taylor showing off the speed. Ben Fuhrer almost made an acrobatic play, catching that one on the second base side of the bag.
Aragon, that was not the greatest throw from him. He threw it to the right. Fuhrer did a great job to dive for it, as you said, but not in time.
And Ludvigsen will go down looking. But the Zap do score 2. They cut more into this lead. It's 11-4. Sasquatch are leading. As we head to a break, we'll be back after this with the Squatch coming up out in front on River 92.7.
Our number one goal is to educate you. Did you know that this is how the payment processing industry works? There's a cost from the card brands nobody can change. There's junk fees that sound like they fit. Having a custom fit solution is another reason people move to Chip. Visit chip.cc and book an appointment.
Brady Glenn back out on the mound for the Oahe Zap, just trying to keep this thing at bay. It's 11-4, Spearfish out in front. But Brady Glenn has done some good job and some good work in relief as he came in for Noah Aliff. Justin Coward alongside Brandon Whaley and Nick Bennett. And some of your intern teams out there doing the YMCA with a nice crowd on hand here for a Saturday evening. And they even got the overalls to boot. You guys didn't want to wear your overalls this afternoon?
Nope. Not a fan.
What, is it a little bit too warm up here in the AC-controlled booth for you?
I'm a little cold, actually. I would not mind turning that off.
Do you have ice water in your veins, Nick?
Yeah, Nick, might want to open up that window and see how you feel about it after a couple pitches here. First one from Glenn misses outside for ball 1. This one catches the inside corner as Carter Towns takes a strike to even up the count.
I'm not sure, Justin. It's only 75 degrees. That's not bad at all.
Sure doesn't feel like it. Muggy afternoon here in Piers. This one is belted. Deep right field, back towards the warning track. Ethan pitcher under it, and that one is gone. Pitcher made as much of an attempt as he could, but that one is rattling off the National Guard's big armored truck that they brought for Military Appreciation Night. And the only blemish on Brady Glenn's relief outing is a solo home run to Carter Towns. And I got to tell you, Towns put a good swing on that one, but he got it up into the stratosphere where the wind could ride it. And I think on an average day, which there really is no day without wind here in South Dakota, that one might have been able to be caught by Ethan Pitcher, but a good swing from Carter Towns there will make it 12-4. And we'll see if Brady Glenn can lock back in here to Malachi Lopez. This one is sent into center, coming on strong, but watching it fall in front of him is Dominic DiCarlo. So a couple pitches and a couple hits here for the Sasquatch in the top half of the 4th inning. A solo home run from Carter Towns, and now a no-out single from Malachi Lopez.
I mean, that's something we saw at Spearfish. A lot of bloop. That wasn't much of a bloop hit, but it's a soft hit. Gets it just a little shy of the center fielder, but a lot of bloop hits happened in Spearfish.
And Brady Glenn will miss outside on his first pitch to Sasquatch catcher Kendrick Aragon. Got to be tough if you're going to catch in this league, especially when you're getting familiar with your pitchers. The day up, quick throw down to first and diving back safely is Malachi Lopez. Good thought there by Ty Farwell, trying to catch Lopez maybe sleeping and getting a little bit too big of a secondary lead off that bag. But again, if you're Brady Glenn here, damage can happen, but you've got to control that. He loops one in there for strike 1, makes the count 2-1. You know this Sasquatch offense is going to score runs, but you can't let it snowball into what we saw in the second inning. If you're Brady Glenn, would love a ground ball here. This one will miss down and in. Runners going. Farwell off balance, throwing it down. It's just knocked down by Cy Taylor. We'll be safe at second. Will be Lopez, and that was actually Gavin Frazier knocking it down. Interesting to see Frazier coming across the front of the bag to field that throw down from Ty Farwell. And I imagine that's because the right-handed hitter Kendrick Aragon blocking that view of vision from Farwell to Taylor. Here's the 3-1. This one fouled back into the fencing behind home plate, and that'll run the count full. And if you're Brady Glenn, after falling behind in this at-bat, if you come back here and get Aragon, get the first out of this inning, that would feel like a big step in the right direction for Brady Glenn. Glenn working from the stretch, takes a peek back and delivers, and the 3-2 misses low for ball 4.
Lopez thought about wanting to go to third on that, but thankfully Farwell kept it in front of him.
Farwell, a really seasoned catcher back there for the Oahe Zap, a fan favorite, understandably so. He's playing his ball at Dickinson State University, and Ty Farwell has got maybe, besides the Pierre Wildcats, one of the biggest fans. His mom absolutely loves the Zap, loves the community. As Brady Glenn fires a first pitch strike. In there to number 9 hitter Benjamin Fuhrer. Farwell's mom would camp out over there along the third base line in that visitor section. Coming from Canada, big hockey fans are the Farwells. Another off-speed pitch just missing a bit high to Fuhrer.
A lot of his teammates thinking that he should transfer to go D1, but some of his teammates say that he's just that loyal guy, kind of a Mike Trout for the Angels.
Yeah, Ty Farwell's few and far in between, one-of-a-kind type of guy. This one misses inside, good snag by Farwell. Makes the count 2-1. Ultimate team guy. Anytime you see these guys out and about in the city, if they're going up to the Y to play pickup basketball or out for dinner, Ty Farwell is always a part of the crew. And like we said for Gavin Frazier, he's a really important guy. Welcoming some of these newer faces. Brady Glenn upset after missing that one outside. Grabs the ball back in disgust. Kicking some dirt off the rubber. And now 3-1 count. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Feel like you got to get some contact here. Trying to get a double play or find the strike zone and work this thing full. Here's the 3-1 from Glenn. That misses high and away. It's ball 4, and Brady Glenn's temperature is running about as red as that arm sleeve. So now the bases are loaded, nobody out. And again, Zap back in danger territory as they work to the top of the lineup and a dangerous hitter, Bo Iandoli.
Well, these are preventable mistakes. Brady Glenn isn't missing by much, especially in that last pitch. He was just a bit outside. It wasn't like it was astronomical, the difference, like he had pitched down low and away earlier in the count.
So Iandoli has been hit by a pitch. He's rattled a triple. He'll take ball 1 down and away. And if I'm Ty Farwell, I think I call a timeout and go talk to Glenn, try to calm him down a little bit.
We do have a righty arm warming up in our bullpen down the right field line.
Good eye there by Nick. Movement in the Zap bullpen. This one sent to the right side and through. 1 run will score. They're waving the second around third. Throw to the plate. Not in time, as sliding in safely was Kendrick Aragon. It's a 2-run single for Bo Iandoli as he continues to damage the Zap. And it is 14-4, 3-spot already here in the top of the 4th inning. And still nobody out.
I will say with that throw, though, from pitcher, I did not think he had an arm like that.
Yeah, he sure showed off the hose on that one. At least made the play exciting at home. Farwell wasn't able to squeeze it. I think that Aragon would have been safe either way as Glenn misses outside for ball 1. if you're Jamie Habiger, a little bit of trouble as you're having to go deeper into that bag of arms here early in the ballgame. Brady Glenn still unable to find the zone here on the 1-0, makes it 2-0 as this one misses high and away to Dominic Torres. 2-0 count, nobody out. Runners on first and third. Glenn with a deep breath, the lefty delivers, and that one falls into the zone for the first strike of this at bat. Sun is fully out behind the clouds. Got a little bit of overcast skies off to our left. As this one is turned on and sent down on the left side. Tell you what, Dominic Torres was sitting on that off-speed pitch. The right-hander somehow was able to turn that one and send it over the third base dugout. There's out in front of pitches, and then there's that. He was meeting that one almost towards the grass around the home plate area. This one rifled into center. That's going to drop for a base hit and score another run. Trying to take second in there safely, says J.D. Pullman. Boy, that looked like it was in time. Gavin Frazier got the tag down. Good throw from left from Blake Imhoff. And I think if we had reviews in the ILB, Jamie Habiger would be tapping the ears to go take a look at that one. It was bang, bang. Looked like Frazier got the tag down in time. But sliding in safely was Dominic Torres, and another run makes it 15-4. 13th hit of this ball game for the Spearfish Sasquatch. And like we said, Ty Farwell going to go out there and have a quick chat with Brady Glenn. Farwell will assume the position back behind home plate, and this brings up Sam Kwapnoski. And it's like a Toy Story cast of characters in terms of hitters as Kwapnoski puts a charge into one into center. DiCarlo will make the play, comes up firing. Runner will tag from third and score. Brady Glenn able to get the out. Coming home is Bo Iandoli, and that'll be the 16th run of the ball game for the Squatch. This is a potent offense for Spearfish, and they just continue to hit. We were talking to Spearfish play-by-play crew over there. Nikita was his name. And I said, so where's all the offensive production come from? Who's been the big names? As this first pitch misses down and away for ball one to Benjamin Melendrez. And he said, not to try to sound like I'm being a homer for Spearfish, but it's all throughout the lineup. All of these guys are hitting. And we're seeing that here today. Here's the 1-0. Glenn catches the outside corner for strike one. And there really is nowhere to hide in this Spearfish lineup.
No, there's no easy out, and there's even when Brady Glenn, when Alif has been ahead in the count, when it's been 0-2, you've still seen pitches that are up over the plate that have missed, that the Sasquatch batters have been able to hit and been able to take advantage of.
That pitch dives down in the dirt for ball two. Got a lot of young Zap fans in attendance here today, and Spearfish fans for that matter. Of course, we got Bolt Buddies going on all season long. We'll get into that here in the next break. As this one's grounded sharply to the third base side. Sliding play by Melton. He'll fire on a bounce to first. Ludvigsen fields it cleanly, and that'll be the second out of the inning.
That's what we're accustomed to seeing from Mason Melton. The sliding grab, the great intuition to come up and field the grounders, the choppers, and it hasn't been all bad play by the infield. There have been some good plays. They've just been outshadowed by the few mistakes that have occurred throughout these first four innings.
Glenn will deliver. That one just misses outside. And it'll be ball one here to Crew Muller. Runner on second, 2 outs. As Brady Glenn tries to get back to the dugout, get the Zap bats to the plate. This one will be popped to the right side. Gavin Frazier stares up into the sun and makes the grab for out number 3. 5 more runs come across for the Squatch, and let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the month of June, and I'll hand it over to my friends Brandon Whaley and Nick Bennett. Boys, what do we got coming up in June, home and away for the Oahe Zap?
Sure, so next 2 games will be at home against aforementioned Spearfish. Then we've got a 3-game break from the 2nd through the 4th, where the Zap will not be playing any home games or away games. Then they come back home on Friday the 5th to play yet again the Casper Spuds, who we lost 2 out of the first 3 games, the opening series to. We then go to Spearfish again for a 2-game series, then come back home against the Capital City Aviators, and then we have a 6-day break until, Nick, you want to take over for the next
And
few
I
weeks?
tell you, Brandon, that break's going to be lovely. As if you're a baseball fan, you know the biggest event in college baseball is going to be happening with the College World Series. But nonetheless, we'll go on the road to Spearfish after that long break. Then we'll host Spearfish for 2 days, and then 3 days off, the 22nd to the 24th. And then we'll host the Aviators for a 4-game stretch. Then we'll move to Spearfish to finish off June with a 4-game stretch on the road.
Thanks, boys. And Nick, you going to try to make a trip down to Omaha?
Yes, definitely.
All right, we'll see Nick Bennett and, who knows, maybe Brandon Whaley out in Omaha. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing the South Dakota State Jackrabbits there. They were trailing 16-0 to Arizona State in their elimination game in the 6th inning. That's the last that I saw of that score. But you never know, those folks from Brookings, they are wily as ever. I think Brandon Whaley's going to get on the tube and see if South Dakota State was able to maybe make a comeback here as we're back underway in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Tom Day going to have to take a timeout. Sounds like somebody over in the PA booth next door was playing a little bit of music there in the first pitch for Austin Elke, who's back on the mound for the Squatch.
Unfortunately, your Jackrabbits lost to Arizona State today.
Hey, they're not my Jackrabbits. I'm a University of Alabama alum who took care of Alabama State last night.
Oh, boo.
As this one misses down and away for ball 1 for Elke. This won't catch the corner, says Tom Day. And a look back. Ethan pitcher. So my pitcher, Brady Glenn, wasn't getting those calls there in the top half of the 4th inning. He does get that one as that ball misses down low. 2-1 count. Pitcher will take ball 3 on the outside corner.
Even though it's on the smaller diamond, I'm happy to announce your Crimson Tide are beating the undefeated 52-6 Cornhuskers 5-1, excuse me.
Are you sure that's baseball there, buddy?
I said smaller diamond, softball.
Gotcha. Well, Alabama will be playing baseball later tonight, where they should be underway now. Of course, we love our Alabama softball. College World Series going on for softball. Here's the payoff pitch, misses down and away for ball 4, so Ethan Pitcher will take his free pass. And they'll bring up the left fielder, Blake Imhoff.
Second walk of the day for pitcher.
And that might be the end of the line for Austin Elke, as they'll come out and call for the arm. But Elke had a good outing in his first day with the Spearfish Sasquatch. 4 hits, 4 runs. And he will leave the incoming Sasquatch reliever with a runner on first. We'll tell you who's taking over after this short break. You're listening to Zap Baseball Live on River 92.
Our number 1 goal is to educate you. Did you know that this is how the payment processing industry works? There's a cost from the card brands nobody can change. There's junk fees that sound like they fit. Having a custom fit solution is another reason people move to Chip. Visit chip.cc and book an appointment.